kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
The sprawling metropolis of Neo-Tokyo was a marvel of human ingenuity and technological advancement. Towering skyscrapers pierced the clouds, their surfaces covered in solar panels and wind turbines. The streets were filled with autonomous vehicles, and the air was alive with the hum of drones delivering goods and services. But beneath the surface of this utopia, a crisis was brewing. The city's energy grid was on the verge of collapse. Decades of over-reliance on renewable energy sources, combined with a series of natural disasters, had left the city's power supply unstable. Blackouts were becoming more frequent, and the citizens were growing frustrated. In the heart of the city, in a small, cluttered apartment, lived Zack, a brilliant but reclusive engineer. Zack had always been fascinated by technology, and he had spent years developing his own artificial intelligence, an AI companion he called Aria. Aria was more than just a program. She was Zack's friend, confidant, and partner. One evening, as the city was plunged into yet another blackout, Zack received a message from the mayor's office. The message was brief but urgent. "Zack, we need your help. The city's energy grid is failing, and we're running out of options. We've heard about your work with AI, and we believe you might be able to find a solution." Zack didn't hesitate. He knew that the stakes were high, and he was determined to do whatever it took to save his city. He quickly packed his equipment and set off for City Hall, with Aria by his side. When Zack arrived at City Hall, he was greeted by a scene of chaos. The building was filled with officials, engineers, and scientists, all frantically trying to come up with a solution to the energy crisis. The mayor, a stern but desperate woman named Hannah, quickly briefed Zack on the situation. "Our energy grid is failing," Hannah explained. "We need a new approach, something that can stabilize the grid." Zack nodded, his mind already racing with possibilities. "I'll do my best," he said. "But I'll need access to all the data on the city's energy usage, as well as any research that's been done on alternative energy sources." Hannah agreed, and within minutes, Zack was set up in a makeshift lab. Surrounded by screens displaying vast amounts of data, Aria was connected to the city's mainframe, her advanced algorithms sifting through the information at lightning speed. For days, Zack and Aria worked tirelessly, analyzing the data and running simulations. They explored every possible solution, but nothing seemed viable. The city's energy needs were simply too great, and the time frame too short. But then, Aria made a discovery. "Zack," she said, her voice calm but excited. "I think I've found something. There's a pattern in the energy usage data that suggests a potential solution. If we can harness the kinetic energy generated by the city's transportation systems, we might create a self-sustaining energy loop." Zack's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant, Aria. If we can capture the energy from the movement of vehicles, trains, and even pedestrians, we could generate enough power to stabilize the grid. But we'll need to develop a new kind of energy converter to make it work." With renewed determination, Zack and Aria set to work designing the converter. They worked around the clock, their minds and algorithms working in perfect harmony. Finally, after days of intense effort, they had a prototype. The prototype was a small, sleek device that could be installed on vehicles, trains, and even sidewalks. It was designed to capture the kinetic energy generated by movement and convert it into electricity. Zack and Aria took the prototype to a busy intersection in the heart of Neo-Tokyo. They installed the device on a few vehicles and monitored the results. The data was promising. The converter was capturing a significant amount of energy, and the grid was showing signs of stabilization. Encouraged by the success, Zack and Aria began mass-producing the converters. The city's engineers worked tirelessly to install them on vehicles, trains, and sidewalks across the city. The citizens of Neo-Tokyo, inspired by the potential of the new technology, eagerly embraced the initiative, doing their part to generate energy through their daily activities. As the converters were installed, the city's energy grid began to stabilize. The blackouts became less frequent, and the citizens of Neo-Tokyo started to feel a sense of hope and relief. The mayor, Hana, was overjoyed. "Zack, Aria, you've done it," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You've saved our city. I can't thank you enough." Zack smiled, but he knew that their work was not yet done. The converters were a temporary solution, and the city would need a more sustainable source of energy in the long term. He and Aria continued to work on new ideas, exploring advanced technologies like quantum energy and zero-point energy. Months passed, and Neo-Tokyo entered a new era of energy independence. The city's energy grid was stable, and the citizens were thriving. Zack and Aria became heroes, their names synonymous with innovation and resilience. But Zack knew that the journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, new problems to solve, and new frontiers to explore. He and Aria were ready for whatever came next. As they stood on the rooftop of City Hall, looking out at the glowing city below, Zack felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had made a difference, and he knew that he and Aria would continue to do so, no matter where their journey took them. Zack and Aria's story became a legend, inspiring countless others to embrace the potential of technology and innovation. If you like our stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell, so you won't miss exciting stories every day. You are also welcome to share it with family and friends to listen to the story together. Love you.